Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Scores stranded following protest action by taxi operators. Transport Minister says strike action premature. And later in sports, Reggae Boys assistant coach analyzes performance following narrow win against Dominica. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shane Masters and here are the details. Scores of people were left stranded this morning as public passenger operators held true to their words of taking strike action. They say they are fed up with the treatment being meted out to them by police officers. Romarda Lyons reports.
From the east to the west, taxi operators withdrew their services, leaving students and the working population stranded across the island. They are frustrated with what they say is a constant attack on them by police officers and the demerit point system, which will see their licenses being suspended for 6 months if they lose 10 points.
As a humble youth, we are trying to stray from crime and negative energy. The system has forced me to turn to them thing there. See it? Because right now this is the way I'm find to feed our youth and take care of children and them thing there. And right now, if you come out here and get a ticket, the least you're going to get a ticket for $5,000. No matter how simple it is. If a passenger is beside you and you tell a passenger, put on your seatbelt, and that passenger refuses, it's $5,000 for that ticket. So there's no justice.
They might give me ticket for the other somebody over the other side and me have on for me seatbelt. Them they sit and can't walk. You tell him if you put you on and he not put you on, give them a ticket because they used to give them.
And while our camera was rolling in St. Mary, there was a tussle between a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force and a taxi operator who was protesting. However, it came to a quick end following the intervention of the head of St. Mary Police, Superintendent Bobette Morgan Simpson. Over in St. Thomas, taxi operators were more disgruntled over not receiving any form of compensation for damages to their vehicles during the ongoing roadworks. Some of the taxi operators say their vehicles remain in the garage. Interestingly, when asked, they didn't have an issue with the demerit system. Instead, the issue of compensation is more critical. Irrespective of the reasons provided, residents are incensed.
I have to reach my job, because my job is a very tedious job, so I have to reach work.
How do you feel about this roadblock?
No, it's all right. Everybody have a right to voice their opinion, but don't try to inconvenience others who are trying to go to work. You understand? That's what they are doing. They are trying to inconvenience others. We're not the government. We are just people trying to work to make our ends meet. So that's unfair for us.
Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Meanwhile, the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, says several schools island-wide were impacted by the strike action by the taxi operators. Leighton Johnson is president of the JTA.
Some schools within the corporate area have seen unusually low student turnout. Schools across the other regions 2, 3, and 4 have also indicated that student population has been low for today. Additionally, schools and administrators have indicated too that several teachers have called in indicating that they are unable to make it to work because of the unavailability of regular transportation and the taxis. So in terms of students doing CAPE exams and those doing the NCT vet assessments, we have reports that there are some schools that have arranged for private bus companies to assist in transporting the CAPE students as well as those who are doing NCT vet assessments.
In the meantime, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz says there seems to be a lack of communication, which has led to the action by taxi operators across sections of the island. Now, Mr. Vaz says from last week it was disclosed that a meeting will be held tomorrow to address the concerns.
I would want to believe that it is a situation where it's a communication situation. However, at this point, I will continue to watch through the day. Again, I'm calling for good order, good sense to prevail. I have already given a commitment that the matters will be addressed tomorrow at a meeting and will be a part of the review of the Road Traffic Act, which ends at the end of June. Therefore, I can only say once again that this action is premature and unnecessary.
In other stories, a plea from residents of Waterford, Portmore to St. Catherine for the major drain which runs through the community to be cleaned. The residents wanted the drain to get attention before the hurricane season intensifies and flood rains hit. The details in this report from Carrie Simpson.
After months of debilitating heat, most Jamaicans have welcomed the increased rainfall. But some residents in Waterford, Portmore are now dreading the rains. Their drains are not equipped to carry the surface runoff. The stagnant water, they say, is proof of the issue.
The gully did full of lily. You go down the whole mouth and block the whole. So now water can't, the water, that's why it flood out. Because the water cannot get through and out. You don't understand, it need to clean.
So we need some assistance. Urgent. Not like yesterday, from last year. We need the gully to clean. So everyone can assist me. We'd like it to be done.
The big gully round at the back there, so it need for clean. Because if the little gully them clean here, so, and up there, so black up, it don't make no sense. It not nowhere for run go. Right? So the gully on the back, the major gully need for clean as well. Right, sir?
They say in the absence of attention from the authorities, only divine intervention is sparing them from death and destruction.
Water that comes straight up, but God stopped the rain. He's a good almighty God. He is so merciful to us that anytime you see the water will come up, if the rain calm down and make the water run off.
The situation has also created other issues.
Mosquito, and the mosquito then come out and then black like a tar. And bite your skin, scratch all day, you can't stop scratch. Mosquito will kill you because the dirty gully can't sit.
Fenley Douglas is councillor for the Waterford Division. He says the authorities are aware of the residents' plight.
I am pleased to say that we have commenced cleaning of all the municipal drains within the Waterford area. However, while we're cleaning the drains, it makes no sense because the water from the drains, which would have deposited in the large drain here, which is called the Dyke Road Gully, the Dyke Road Gully needs to be cleaned. Again, this is about the third time I am making a public appeal to the National Works Agency and the powers that be to clean and repair the Dyke Road Gully. As it is now, 3,725 homes in Waterford, which is the total homes that are in the community, they're at risk.
Carrie Simpson, TVJ News.
It's an old video. Mayor of Maypen, Joel Williams, is clearing the air following the circulation of a 2-year-old video of a flooded area in Clarendon. As Sandy Williams reports, the mayor is also pleading for urgent assistance to address poor drainage, which continues to fail as more intense weather impacts the country.
No long MP them to fix this road, yeah. I mean River Coast, yeah.
This is the video in question. Mayor of Maypen, Joel Williams, says the 2-minute 27 seconds clip is from 2022. It shows about 4 vehicles trapped in flood waters along the main road linking Maypen to New Longville and other communities. Since the start of the rainy season, it has been making the rounds on social media platforms, creating alarm among residents.
And I'm asking those who are doing that, things like those, to desist from misleading the public. And so I feel as the mayor for the town and ultimately the parish, I have a responsibility to put the facts as they are. So that video has nothing to do with what would have happened over the last 2 to 3 days.
He says that stretch of road is not flooded currently, adding that traffic is moving freely along the corridor. In fact, major works were done on Labor Day last month to clean the area. Flooding may not be an issue at present, but keeping the drains and gullies clean are.
We're not getting the best of support from the citizenry as it relates to keeping our corridors and our gullies clean. So you clean today, and by tomorrow you go back to those areas and you will find garbage dumped again. And I want to use this medium once more to ask the public across the country, more so in the parish of Clarendon, to store your garbage. We understand that we have challenges at times, but it does not mean that we're to dump them in the gullies and the drains, because that just makes the situation worse.
That aside, Mr. Williams says Maypen remains prone to flooding, especially along the Guinea to South Upturn corridor.
And I'm asking for something to be done quickly because it is getting worse. It's affecting business, it's affecting the schools, it's affecting the hospital, because once those areas are flooded, nothing can move. You have to wait until water recedes. And you could be coming from Chapelton with a person who is very sick. And you come into the flood area and that person is going to die.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
And it's time for a break here on the Midday News, but stay with us, more stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake is urging students to report bullying in schools. Dr. Blake was recently interviewed by primary school students at the JCF's headquarters, where he emphasized the need for students to speak out against bullying. The commissioner shared insights into the JCF's efforts to combat bullying.
The bully only have themselves and their little friends around, you know. The person being bullied have the entire school, their parents, and the entire police force at their disposal. So let them remember that we are there for them, to protect them against that one bully who doesn't have that type of bucketive that we have. All right? And as we speak now, we have a program where we are going around and talking to the students in schools, especially some of those troubled schools, and to try to divert them from those things.
However, Dr. Blake stressed that parents and guardians also have a critical role to play in addressing bullying.
We encourage parents to spend time with their children, to teach their children, to ensure discipline takes place from in home, that the students go to school and not lingering in society with persons who have ill intent. And so we do what we can from that side, but we also deliberately place police officers in school as school resource officers in order to help curb antisocial behaviors.
Opposition spokesperson on health, Dr. Alfred Dawes, is blasting the government for what he terms is misplaced priorities. Speaking to PNP supporters at the Belfield Divisional Conference in St. Mary last evening, he said there are a lot of issues within the health sector that are being overlooked by the JLP administration. Dr. Dawes says when elected, a PNP government will have those issues rectified.
7,000 people in Jamaica get a stroke every year. And you can count on one hand, you can count on 3 fingers how many public hospitals have a CAT scan. You have to sit down and wait for days. And the stroke is worse, so you cannot get treatment. That will change. We talk about people waiting how long to cut them hernia. And instead of setting up hospitals so we can cut hernia, we can cut fibroids, them busy running up and down, a cut ribbon.
He further noted that not much is being done to help the mentally ill in society.
Phasing down Bellevue, but they are not upgrading the community halfway houses also where people can go. So every now and again, you have somebody with a psychotic break, stab somebody, kill somebody, shoot somebody, and here's a tragedy. But nothing meaningful is being done.
And it's now time for the Business Minute.
Jamaica earned 10.9% less money from the manufacturing industry in 2023. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin, says the industry raked in $856.4 million. The drop was due to a decline in the exports of other manufactured products. The category earned the country $484.9 million, a 21% drop compared to the $614.8 million earned in 2022. Statin says this was mainly due to lower exports of refined petroleum products, which fell by 20.7% to $436.2 million. A combined COVID-19 and flu shot could be coming. Moderna says its combination vaccine showed positive late-stage trial results. The company says people who got the vaccine, called mRNA 1083, had an improved immune response compared with those who got the standalone flu and COVID shots available now. In terms of safety, Moderna says the combined vaccine was well tolerated. The most common complaints were pain at the injection site, tiredness, muscle pain, and headaches. Moderna plans to present its data at an upcoming medical conference and submit the trial for publication. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Kalisha Williams.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
Former Premier of the British Virgin Islands, Andrew Foy, has once again requested a delay in his sentencing currently scheduled for June 25. His attorney, Teresa Van Vliet, filed a motion citing a scheduling conflict as the reason for the postponement, proposing a new date of August 5. Foy was arrested in April 2022 and found guilty in February 2024 on multiple charges, including conspiracy to import cocaine and money laundering. On the international scene, France's finance minister has revealed that the snap election called by President Emmanuel Macron after Sunday's bruising loss to the far right in European parliamentary elections will be France's most fateful legislative vote in decades. Macron's shock decision resulted in the euro immediately going down and also hitting French stocks and government bonds. The June 30 and July 7 ballot could for the first time hand a great deal of power to Marine Le Pen's far-right national rally. And Israeli Minister Benny Gantz has resigned from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's emergency government. The departure of Gantz's centrist party will not pose an immediate threat to the government, but it could have a serious impact nonetheless. Last month, Gantz presented Netanyahu with a June 8 deadline to come up with a clear day-after strategy for Gaza. Netanyahu brushed off the ultimatum soon after it was given. On Sunday, Gantz said politics was clouding fateful strategic decisions in Netanyahu's cabinet. He said quitting while hostages were still in Gaza and soldiers fighting there was an excruciating decision. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Hal Shane Burke.
And we head to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your midday sports report.